What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? AJ Good here at the House of Masks, coming to you live from Chilly Stupidity. Oh stupido. Actually, that's a lie. I'm not coming to you live. This is all pre-recorded and edited and has been uploaded for quite some time. Patrons even saw this early. And in today's video, I thought that it would be fun to put together a little wish list for 2021. So this may be the start of a new little series where I talk about what I would like to obtain in the year 2021 for each branch of my collection, whether it be Slipknot or Gwar or Buckethead, which will be today's video. We are going to be talking about what Buckethead scores I would like to find in 2021. So some of these items I do already have copies of, but most of them I do not. I just put these other ones on there because I'm always on the hunt for these specific items, and it never hurts to have more than one. That's kind of the point in collecting, right? So first up, the infamous Christmas bucket. I only know one collector that has this, and that is the Mask Hunter, and I've never seen another copy come up for sale, and I really really want this bucket because I feel like I have most of the buckets that I want. Now, aside from this bucket, there is another bucket later on this list that might be the only one that's rarer than this KFC Christmas bucket. And altogether, it's really not that important of a piece in Buckethead's history, but it is something super elusive and super different and something that I definitely want to add to my collection. Next up is going to be one of the groundbreaker zombie props, just another random prop that Buckethead used from time to time. You can see it in the background of photos and videos here and there throughout Buckethead's career, and this is definitely a cool piece. It's when Halloween stuff was actually still somewhat scary. It wasn't that it was intended to be overly scary, it's just that weird old vintage style of weird decomposing bodies, and the longer that they age, the more weird they look. And yeah, it's just something super classic, super cool. You can actually see one in one of Douglas's recent videos. He found one locally, oddly enough, and ever since he and the Mask Hunter got a hold of these things, I have really been wanting one, so the fever for one of these groundbreaker zombie props is real, and I think that it would look great with my little Spirit Halloween decapitation, self-pulling its head off, whatever you want to call that thing that I recently scored. Maybe it wasn't super recently, but regardless, I think that they would look great together, so that is definitely on my list.
You just made the list!
Next up is something that I've wanted for quite some time, but just won't spend the money on.
Sex.
And that is a giant robot figure. Now, if you're familiar with Buckethead at all, you will know that he loves the giant robot. He's often seen using these figures on stage. Tons of people have gifted him giant robot stuff over the years during the toy exchange. There are some parts in his DVDs that are solely dedicated to the giant robot. He's on album covers, you name it. Buckethead has giant roboted it up. Roboted? Buckethead loves giant robot, that's what I'm getting at. And I would love to have one of those larger figures, but aside from the fact that these are a Buckethead collectible piece now, they also just have a market of their own for giant robot collectors. And with that being said, they're not cheap, and since I only like them because of Buckethead, not because they're a mask, not because it's a distortions piece, etc., I just can't bring myself to spend the hundreds of dollars that these things are going for. Maybe one day I'll get lucky and find one semi-cheap, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. If it happens, it happens. If not, I won't be too upset. Next up, an even more elusive bucket than the Christmas bucket, or at least tied with the Christmas bucket. We've got the Chester's Chicken Bucket. Now, why Buckethead had one of these, I don't know. I honestly don't know anything about Chester's Chicken, aside from me trying to contact them and ask them if they have any of these buckets lying around, which clearly they don't, because I don't have one yet. And again, the only person that I know that has a Chester's Fried Chicken Bucket is the Mask Hunter, Buckethead God. Now, as far as I know, there is only one photo of Buckethead wearing one of these, and I just really want one. I've got a thing for buckets. What can I say? This is one of the weirder ones I wanted in my collection. Now that we're getting down to the final few pieces that I'd like to score in 2021, I'll go ahead and give you guys like some runner-ups. Obviously, I would always love more vintage Distortions Herbies. I don't even have all of the different variants of the Herbies that Buckethead's used throughout his career, so clearly I'd like to keep knocking those out. I would always love to get more Buckethead artwork. I would definitely like a painting that I purchased from his website, like one of my choice. The only one that I have right now is one that I got secondhand, and it is a great painting. I really do love that, and it was my first Buckethead painting, so it'll always be sentimental, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a completely different feeling of accomplishment or happiness from having a piece that I got to pick myself and scoring it from the website before anybody else could get to it, that sort of thing. 83 Caesars, 90s KFC buckets, you name it, stuff that I already have that I would love more of. Now, let's get down to the final two pieces. These are two old vintage masks that I would really like to acquire. I've never even seen them out in the wild. I think maybe the Mask Hunter found one of these but wasn't able to purchase it, or found one that was extremely similar but turned out not to be the same one. The first one is this old Don Post witch. I think it's a Don Post mask. I don't know. It's a really strange looking old woman with fangs. It's just like no other mask I've ever seen before, honestly. And it's really weird that this isn't just something that we would find from time to time on eBay, but like I said, we've never been able to find it. And I may be getting this wrong, but I think the mask hunter found one that was really, really similar, but had different teeth. So it was like maybe just a different version, like a retooled version or something like that, that came out before or after this piece. And of course, this one has to be the rare out of the two. So this witch mask, I think it's a Don Post. I could be wrong about that, but it definitely looks like an old like Kmart style Don Post mask that would have been around in the late 90s, early 2000s. And the last one from one of the coolest Buckethead videos of all time, this weird old Don Post pirate mask. Again, can't fucking find it anywhere. You'd think that there'd just be a million of these laying around, and every once in a while somebody would toss one up on eBay, or there'd be one in a mask lot somewhere, Craigslist, whatever, but they're not. We can't even find this mask in the wild, or any sort of evidence of it existing aside from like a catalog photo and the video of Buckethead wearing it.
How would you like to have fried chicken on your well, anytime you with me into the mind of a maniac, doomed to be a killer since I came out the nutsack.
So yeah, there's my list. I hope that you guys have enjoyed it. Are you a Buckethead collector? Do you have a list of your own? Make sure to drop that list down below. What would you guys like to score in terms of Buckethead in 2021? And if you dig this video, maybe I'll bring you guys one for Slipknot, Guar, Myers, whatever else. Let me know down below, and that is going to do it. So, thank you guys very much for watching, and until next time, this has been AJ Good at the House of Masks telling you to say no to drugs and alcohol, and yes to chicken buckets, and we'll see you guys later.
You need to put a mask on. I hate AJ cause I wanna ask for. Catch me fucking poppin' wheelies, driving like the NASCAR. Mask on, mask on, mask on, mask on. You might see him off in traffic, he be moving around. I hate AJ good, tagged it all around the town. I hate AJ good, I hate AJ good, I hate AJ good, I hate AJ good. You might see him off in traffic, he be moving around. I hate AJ good, tag it all around the town. I hate AJ good, I hate AJ good, I hate AJ good. I love, I hate AJ good.
Cause when I grab my sword off, niggas get hauled off. Barrel 1, touch your motherfucking flesh. Barrel 2, touch your fucking heart at your chest.
Your technique.